Hello everybody, and welcome back to One Nerd to Rule Them All. And in today's video, we'll be having a look at the forgotten kingdoms of Middle-earth. Today, we're talking about Arnor and Angmar. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. When we think of the great powers of Middle-earth, Gondor and Rohan usually come to mind. But in the north, there was once another kingdom, one that rivaled Gondor, but which most of Middle-earth had forgotten. The kingdom was Arnor, and its doom came at the hands of a dark empire, Angmar, ruled by the Witch King himself. Today we explore the full story, the rise, the Golden Age, and the fall of Arnor and Angmar, and most importantly, why these realms still matter in the Lord of the Rings. Arnor was founded after the downfall of Númenor. Elendil, the High King of the Dunedain, established Arnor in the north, while his sons Isildur and Anarion founded Gondor in the south. Arnor stretched across the whole of Eriador, lands that would later include the Barrow Downs, Bree, Weathertop, and even the Shire. Its first capital was Númenus, a city of Númenorian grandeur. Arnor's importance is twofold. It was the direct seat of the High Kings of the Dunedain. In a sense, Arnor was the true heir of Númenor, and it connected the northern lands to Gondor. Together, the two kingdoms were meant to stand as a bulwark against Sauron. The strength of Middle-earth was supposed to come from both the north and the south. When Arnor fell, Gondor was left alone, and much weaker because of it. At its height, Arnor flourished. Elendil himself marched from Arnor to war in the Last Alliance. Anarion soldiers fought in the Great Battle of Dagorlad and at the foot of Barad-dûr. The importance of this moment is clear. The victory of the Last Alliance was not Gondor's alone. Without Arnor's armies, Sauron might have never been defeated. Arnor carried half the weight of that war, and even after Isildur's death, Arnor carried on. For centuries, it preserved Númenorian culture, lore, and strength in the north. But Arnor's strength came with a fatal flaw: division. After King Arandor's death, his sons quarrelled, and Arnor split into three realms: Arthedain, with the true line of Isildur, Cardolan, ruling the Barrow Downs, and Rudar, the wild frontier of the Hillmen. Why does this matter? Because this division mirrors one of Tolkien's deepest themes: the downfall of kingdoms through pride and disunity. A united Arnor could have resisted its enemies. Divided, each fragment was doomed. And their doom was already waiting. Around the year 1300 of the Third Age, a new power arose: Angmar, ruled by the Witch King of the Nazgûl. From Khadum, he launched a slow, relentless war. He turned Rhuldor into puppets. He crushed Carlódin with war and plague. And he poured shadows into the Barrow Downs, creating the Barrow-wights that would later nearly claim Frodo and his friends. Angmar's importance is twofold. It shows the long reach of Sauron's servants. The Witch King didn't just return in The Lord of the Rings. He had already destroyed an entire kingdom centuries earlier. Angmar's war explains why the north of Middle-earth is full of ruins, barrows, and watchtowers in the Fellowship of the Ring. When the hobbits travel through the Barrow Downs or see Weathertop, they're walking through the wreckage of Arnor and Angmar's war. Over the centuries, Arnor's three kingdoms fell one by one. Rudar lost to Hillman and Angmar's shadow. Cardolan destroyed by plague and war, its dead cursed in the Barrow Downs, and then finally, Arthedain. The last stand came at Fornost in 1974. King Arvedui fled north into the ice bay of Forochel, but his ship was crushed by the sea. Arnor was gone. Why does this matter? Because Arnor's fell left Gondor alone, with no northern ally. Gondor bore the full brunt of Mordor's power in the Third Age. It explains why Gondor is a kingdom in decline by the time we meet Boromir and Denethor. But Angmar did not last forever. Gondor sent Prince Arnor with a mighty fleet. The elves of Lindon and Rivendell marched as well. Together, they crushed Angmar at the Battle of Fornost in 1975. The Witch King was defeated, but he escaped, vanishing into the shadows, until he reappeared in Mordor centuries later. Angmar's importance is clear. It forged the Witch King's legend. The prophecy he made to Arnor, that no living man could kill him, was born in this war, and centuries before, Éowyn fulfilled it on the Pelennor fields. Though both Arnor and Angmar were destroyed, their legacies live on. The Rangers of the North, heirs of Arnor, became the silent guardians of Eriador. They watched over the Shire, Bree, and the Wildlands. Without them, the hobbits might have never reached Rivendell alive. And Aragorn, when he became a king, he did not just restore Gondor, he restored Arnor, reuniting the two kingdoms of Elendil after more than 3,000 years. This is why Arnor and Angmar are important. They explain the empty wilds of the north and the ruins Frodo's company passes, the role of the Rangers, and Aragorn's true destiny as king of both realms. The Forgotten Kingdom reminds us that Middle-earth is not just a story of the Ring, it is a world of deep history. The Shire sits as a shadow of Arnor's ruin. The Witch King's curse began in Angmar, and Aragorn's crown was forged from the memory of both North and South. Arnor and Angmar may be forgotten by most, but without them, the world of The Lord of the Rings would not be the same. What hidden history of Middle-earth would you like me to uncover next? In the description you will find a link to my other channel called Nerdy Miniatures. So if you enjoy anything to do with Warhammer, which if you like my Friday content you probably will, over there we build, paint, and we'll soon be battling Warhammer armies against each other. So if that sounds like more your cup of tea, then please feel free to have a look at that. Anyway, that'll be it from me today. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are in the world. And as always, bye for now guys.